guys, I'm going to teach you how to make this easy rolling seedling cart. Basically, we're just going to make a frame 2 times, put it on 4 legs, cover it with hardware cloth, put casters on the bottom. Of course, we've primered it and painted it so it can be uber cute. But look how easy this thing moves. So join with me. Let's see how we made it. Every year I plant a bunch of seedlings in these trays, and then you up-pot them and they're still in like 4-inch trays. And usually when I start to harden them off, I go to the greenhouse and I have to pick these up individually, and all I do is set them out on the ground out in front of the greenhouse and then let them have a couple of hours with the wind and the sun and everything trying to harden them off. And then you have to go pick them all up and put them back in. And I just thought if I had them all on a shelf that could roll into the greenhouse and then roll back out to get hardened off and then roll them back in to put them up, that would make my life so much easier as far as the seedlings are concerned. And I am doing this out of lumber that's pretty much salvage lumber that we had around here. Y'all know me. What I did is I just built 2 frames, rectangle shape. I did measure the doorway to the greenhouse, and that's kind of where I came up with my thickness. That, and I'm going to cover this now after I paint it. I will cover this with hardware cloth. You guys know, if you watch the chicken coop video, I used the hardware cloth to screen in the chicken coop and the chicken run area for my girls when I was turning the old playhouse into the chicken coop. And I had some left over. This is stainless steel, it won't rust out and everything. And it's just going to go across the tops after I paint this the color that I want. Of course, you guys know it's gonna be that turquoise color. It's called Wish You Were Here. And I buy that at the Ace Hardware right here locally. And I'm going to now paint this frame. And when it dries, I'm going to attach the hardware cloth across the top here and across the top of the bottom section. And then we will flip it over, add rollers to the bottom, and hopefully, if we've done this right, we have a rolling cart for our seedlings to go in and out of the greenhouse. And this will save me a lot of time because they won't be so individualized getting in and out. It'll just be rolled out in one big bulk and rolled back in one big bulk. And there's gonna be less bending over and everything like that. I'm just gonna take a moment to take the camera and give you a more close-up view, because I did, in using the scrap lumber, not everything is perfect, but I've made it work. And I wanted to show you on the bottom section, which we will hardly ever see, I wanted to add some strength to the frames. And so I felt like it needed a cross beam in the middle also. And I didn't have enough lumber that was long enough to go across, but I had 2 pieces and I put a sister board to it. And I'm going to show you that now. We come over here, we can see, obviously, there's a frame down here and a frame up here. And then I've just put it together by putting 4 legs, two legs on each end. And in the middle, I've added like a crossbar, if you will. As you can see, these are actually 2 boards here and 1 board here. And I've screwed this together and I've screwed this together. And that it doesn't have to be terribly strong. I just wanted a little more structure there. I would like to go over some of the supplies. This is the paint that I'm using. It's exterior paint, of course, and it's what I have. It's the turquoise color that I've used on the chicken coop, and I actually love this. You guys are going to see a lot more of this color. It's called Wish You Were Here by Ace, and what we're going to do is I need to go get my drill. I did not wash this. This primer on there, that won't hurt anything, but this is my paint stirrer, and a lot of people may not know that that is a thing. So you just connect this to the end of your drill. When I open my can of paint, I will stick it in there and pull the trigger like I'm screwing something in. It works a lot faster than the stirring sticks that they give you. Now, as far as my paint brushes, guys, you know I'm cheap. I went to Dollar General and I have been using this kind of paintbrush for years, and I'll be honest, it's basically because they were so cheap that I could throw them away. Now bear with me, I'm trying to do this one-handed and hold the camera. But as you can see, it's a decent paintbrush. These do not shed the bristles a lot. I mean, once in a while they do. And the end of the paintbrush is tapered, which gives it a smooth finish. So I really do like these. Back in the day, these used to be $2.50 for a 3-pack. I looked at these the other day at Dollar General and they're now $6.50 for the 3-pack. So inflation is really, really getting us, guys, but still compared to all the other paintbrushes, I feel like you could clean these up and reuse them if you're that type of person, but I like to buy the cheaper, but yet these are decent enough to do a good job that I can throw this away and not feel too guilty about it. And back, I've got my flathead screwdriver is all I'm going to use to open my can of paint. I do have paint keys that they give you or you can purchase, but I don't ever keep up with them. And then one day I'll be looking for something else and I'll find a whole pile of those together, I'm sure. But in the meantime, we're just going to use a flathead screwdriver. Now then, I'm going to open this up in my drill, and then I'm going to close this so that it's turning the system here. And I'm just going to give this paint a good stir. Now you do want to be careful. This paint can is not full. It's about 1/3 of the way full. There's 1/3 of the can left. If this was really full, you want to do it slower because it does slash out and get a little messy. So I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to start painting this. So I don't think that you guys really want to stick around and wait on me to paint the frame to our Seedling card, but trust that I am doing this, and it's just as simple as that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint everything that I see with it upright this way. I will let it dry a little bit. I'll flip it over and paint some more. Then I'll let that dry. I'll flip it over and see what needs a second coat perhaps, and let that dry. We may or may not get the hardware cloth on today because I want this paint fully dry before I start putting the hardware cloth across the top of it. Okay guys, it's been a couple of hours now, so I have turned this over so the top is on the bottom, and this will be the bottom of it. Obviously, I chose to go with foil today to save my paintbrush, so that did not dry out. All I did is take a little snippet of foil, put that in there, and folded the sides around it. I thought I would show you too. These are the casters that I will be putting on the cart like this. Now these I just bought at Harbor Freight, and I will tell you that usually I like to support my local hardware store, but they wanted about $15 for one of these, and I found these on sale at Harbor Freight's, and I bought all of them, and I think they were about $3.50, $4. So let's say I spent $16 on 4 of them. I think that's all that I will need. I may find later that I wish I had another set for the middle crossbar, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I do believe that just 4 of these, one on each corner, will do us. So I thought I would take a minute and share that I did save some money by going to Harbor Freight's for my casters. And they're just swivel casters. They do swivel, and that's gonna give me the ability to pull this cart backward and forward into the greenhouse. So I won't bore you with me painting the bottom side of this. I'm just gonna turn the camera off for now, paint the bottom side, we'll let that dry, we'll put the casters on them, and then we'll flip it up and see what else needs to be touched up, maybe with a little touch up of paint. And then we'll let that dry thoroughly and put the hardware cloth on the tops. Okay guys, this looks pretty good to me, and this is the bottom side. It is now in my turquoise color. Wish you were here. I'm just gonna go ahead and screw these casters to the bottom, and then we'll flip it over. And guys, we might actually be okay to go ahead and put the hardware cloth on the top of the shelves. So we might get this video knocked right out. Okay guys, we've got our casters screwed to the bottom of my seedling cart here. I will point out that I had to go get some washers real quick for the screws to go in, because the screw head, the hole for the screws to go in, the screw head was so small it went straight through. So what I've done to counteract that is I put the washer on the screws, and that way it'll hold securely. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. It rolls very easy. I think we're gonna be very happy with this. And I don't actually think I need to touch up the paint anywhere. It looks pretty good to me. So I think now we're just gonna unroll the hardware cloth, which is actually kind of a pain. It is not the easiest stuff to work with. So here we go. Guys, I have spread out the hardware cloth on the top. You do have to have some wire snippers, I can't remember what they're actually called, to cut this wire. But right now, all I've got spread out, and I am using the screws and the washers to screw it to my top of my thing here, my cart. Thank goodness, guys. Look up there. That's what it's like living near a military base. So, tin snips. They're called tin snips. And I will go ahead and screw this down a little bit more securely throughout. When I reach the end, I will be using the tin snips to cut them. It takes quite a minute to do that, so I will then unroll. Unfortunately, more towards the center of the roll, the tighter it is, it's harder to control. This unrolled really easily, as you can see here, but the second shelf is not going to be that easy, I promise. But we will get it done, and it'll be so nice to have this seedling cart ready. Like I said, this was in my head back in March, and it got cut to size. All of my plans with the lumber and everything, it got cut to size, and I even primered it. I am using salt-treated wood, salt-treated outdoor-like lumber, but I am going to go ahead and I primered it and I painted it, because I just don't want that wood look and it get older looking faster. So that is it. We have completed our seedling cart. And just, I know, bad example, but just an example. The measurements that I chose, I knew that my trays of seedlings would fit on here very easily, and the width of it will fit through the door of my greenhouse that I currently have. Hopefully this fall we will be building a new greenhouse. That is a hope and a dream, and I have a drawing of things come to my head, I draw it out, then we try to build it. That's the way things work here. So I do have a new greenhouse in my head that I want to build. We're supposed to get around to building that this fall. We'll see if that happens. We are very busy, both myself and the hippie. We pretty much stay busy. But as you can see here, I've got 2 layers. So I can have, let's see, probably 6 of these trays of seedlings on the top, as well as 6 trays on the bottom. And then They can be in the greenhouse being little seedlings, and when it's time to start hardening them off, all I have to do is roll them out into the sunshine and the wind for however much time that I want, and then I roll it back into the greenhouse so they'll be sheltered. This is going to help so much. Like I said, I used to have all these trays everywhere in the greenhouse, and I would take them tray by tray outside and just put them on the ground outside. A lot of bending and carrying, and then you give them some time outside, then you've got to put them back in because they're little seedlings and they're not hard enough to be left out yet. And this will be a back saver and a time saver for me. So I do hope you enjoyed it. It was very simple to put together. I have to say, look how easily this thing rolls, and this is not the most even brick patio that we've got it on, and it rolls very easily. I'm very impressed with the way it rolls. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it inspired you to build something wonderful for yourself. If you did like this video, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or suggestions, like for instance, if I should put a handle on here or not, I really don't feel like I need to add handles to the ends of it. It moves so easily. But if you have any other suggestions, leave them in the comments section below. And until then, take care of yourself. Thanks for watching.